Good Wednesday morning, everybody. Peak of the week, and as of right now, things are pretty quiet, but we do still have the possibility of some more storms, and that means some more severe weather out there. It also means we're going to be looking at the possibility of some very humid weather out there, so get set again for some very tropical conditions across much of the area. Plenty of humidity, a lot of warm air. Yes, there is the possibility of maybe seeing some cool downs coming our way in about a week's time, somewhere in there, but as of right now, it is a far cry from where we are at this point. It's going to take a while for that cooler air to make its way on down here, and again, as of right now, sometimes that turns out to be wishful thinking, but we'll take a look at the extended forecast coming up here in just a little bit. Also, stay tuned because we'll talk more about Skywarn training and how you can get involved even during a time of a pandemic. You can help with storm spotting, and the National Weather Service needs your help, so stick around for more on that. Radar, again, mid-south area across the radar screen, mostly clear at this time where it comes to rainfall, but we've got plenty of showers and thunderstorms into and around the area of northeast Arkansas and also back into around portions of southern Missouri. Also, flash flood warnings are currently in effect for a good portion of northeast, central, and western Arkansas for this morning, all the way back to the Dardanelles of Russellville, just to the east of Fort Smith, and just to the west of Little Rock. So please be careful if you're traveling that direction. And back into around northwest Tennessee, starting to get some lightning in the Boot Heel of Missouri, moving toward northwest Tennessee, so that could be a bit of an issue there. Not much of anything going on south of I-40, at least for right now, but we will be looking for the potential of that to be starting up later on today. We'll take a look at severe weather chances coming up here in just a little bit. Off to the tropics, a lot going on. We are 8 days away from the peak of hurricane season, and we've got a lot to talk about here as well. We'll start off with Nana. It's a tropical storm in the Bay of Campeche and heading over to the area close to Central America. That's the landmass that you see back over into and around that particular location on the left-hand side with the blue lines at this time, showing again Belize, Mexico, down toward Honduras, El Salvador, in that area. Now, the computer models in very good agreement, taking this storm due west right into the more mountainous terrain of Central America. So it's a good possibility that this storm is going to possibly become a hurricane right before landfall with the warm waters of the Western Caribbean, the Bay of Campeche nearby. But it looks like it's going to degrade into a tropical depression. It might even make its way across the continent, across the isthmus into the Pacific Ocean. We'll see what happens if that goes on. Back to the Atlantic, Omar is showing some very good structure at this time, but it's encountering a lot of dry air, so there's just really not a lot to this storm at this point. The other good news at this time is that it might be ferocious where the winds are concerned as a tropical storm, but it is making its way out into the colder waters of the Atlantic. So as of right now, this is a system that, unless you're taking a boat to Bermuda, doesn't really look like there's going to be much of any problems. It's going to be classified pretty much as a fish storm. That means it's only bothering the fish in the ocean, so good news on that. Africa, back to the right-hand side of your screen, 2 disturbances moving off into the waters of the Atlantic, still several days, a couple of weeks away from being a threat, but once again, this is the perfect time of the year for these things to develop, so we'll be watching that carefully. Again, it doesn't look too bad out there. It's mostly disorganized showers and thunderstorms over the Atlantic, but there's also a lot of dust from the Sahara, so conditions may not be perfect for development, especially immediately. So we'll be watching that again, so stay tuned for more on there. We do have the possibility, excuse me, again, of some severe weather in the Mid-South. It's only a marginal threat, and that stretches all the way back up into the Appalachians and into and around New England today. Primary threat at this time will be the possibility of strong to severe thunderstorms, heavy rainfall, flash flooding possible, maybe some gusty winds out there. This does not look to be a tornadic setup, so good news, but there is that flash flood watch still in effect for areas into and around northeast Arkansas, the Missouri Boot Heel, and extreme northwestern Tennessee. So again, please use caution and common sense. Remember, turn around, don't drown. make certain you find another way to get to where you're going. Weather forecast, courtesy of the Weather Underground for Memphis, showing again showers and thunderstorms today. Heat indexes in the mid-90s, even though air temperatures will be in the mid-80s. With that extra humidity out there, it's going to make it feel like the mid to upper 80s to lower 90s, so very uncomfortable today. Likewise, tomorrow with some more showers and thunderstorms rounding out the week, Thursday and Friday, with the temperatures taking a bit of a tumble as we go into the 3-day holiday weekend coming up, so very good news for outdoor activities. And again, looking for dry and warm conditions right on into Labor Day. A little hot on Labor Day, but otherwise not bad. Pretty close to where we should be at this time of the year. And then toward next week, around midweek or so, for the first full week of September, we are seeing the possibility of some nicer weather heading our direction. There is the potential of seeing, again, very large cool down coming our direction, according to the Climate Prediction Center, for, again, the second week of September. What you're looking at is the climate map showing the potential of below normal temperatures in the blue, above normal temperatures in the warmer colors on both coasts. So for us, we might be able to see some cooling down. Now, does this mean frost and sweater weather? No, I don't think so. I think it's a little bit too early for that. The potential for a decent cool down is there, but this far out is a little bit hard to say. Once we get closer to the event, that's something that we'll be paying attention to, but yes, it is possible. If you'd like to be a storm spotter from the National Weather Service, they are asking for more volunteers, and again, because of the pandemic, they are doing these remotely. So if you'd like to see more about this, let me just show you how easy this is. Go to weather.gov. You'll see the entire map of the country with watches, warnings, and advisories. Click on the Mid-South, which takes you to the National Weather Service Forecast Office for Memphis, Tennessee. Go right up to the headlines at the top of the page, become a Skywarn spotter. Boom, there you are. It's that simple. Okay, it's very easy to take a look at. What you do is you attend the course. The meteorologists and personnel at the National Weather Service in Memphis will teach you what you need to know to spot storms. Now, again, this is very important. This is spotter, not chasing. You have to learn that somewhere else, and you have to be an expert to chase storms. You do not chase storms unless you know what you are doing, because otherwise you could get you or somebody else into a whole mess of trouble, even dead trouble, if you don't know what you're doing. So again, chasing is for an entirely different class, but if you want to be a chaser, you got to start off being a spotter, knowing what goes on out there. Several counties have been set up already, from Hardin County, Tennessee, Hardeman County, Decatur County, Tennessee, Chickasaw, Benton County, Mississippi, several others across the Mid-South. Now again, so far, Shelby County has not been included in this, at least just yet, but it's a good possibility that they will be scheduling one or an online one at some point in time. But again, these are the ones that are set up for the time being, and if you would like to take this course, highly recommended. Good opportunity to help your community when severe weather hits. And again, all you have to do is be where you are and know what to call back into the National Weather Service to let them know what's going on when there's severe weather. That's how you can help. Your information could help to save lives, so please keep that in mind. Remember to wear your mask correctly. It's got to go above your nose and cover your nose and your mouth. Putting it down under your nose does no good and just vents your breath away, which is what we're trying to avoid if we want to try to get everybody healthy and back to normal. So once again, wear your mask correctly. Under your chin, not going to help. Under your nose, not going to help. It's going to, again, be a situation where you have to cover the entire thing to make certain that you are properly protecting other people, and they should be doing the exact same thing. A lot of people have asked, where do we go to in Shelby County if we see violations of this taking place? You can call the mayor's action line, Shelby County Mayor Lee Harris's action line, at 901-222-2300. And for more information, you can call the Shelby County Health Department's toll-free number for our information side. Now, you can't file a complaint through there, but you can get information about that. That's at 843-943-1658, or email shelbytnhealth@shelbycountytn.gov for more information. And again, please remember that if you see something out there to where violations are occurring of the latest health directive, Don't know what the latest health directive is? That's great. Go to Shelby County or shelbytnhealth.com, and you can find out a lot more there. The only way we're going to get back to normal is if everybody pitches in, wears their masks, keeps everybody else healthy until a vaccine is discovered or until this thing burns itself out. Until then, COVID-19 is still a threat, and spreading it around by breathing, even if you don't feel sick, is a problem. So please remember to make certain you mask up, social distance, clean your hands often, don't touch stuff and then touch your face. Let's get back to normal, but let's do it together. We can get through this if we do it together. So please remember a lot of the tips there. More information, go to my social media websites, big three down at the bottom, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, but also on several other places as well. Again, there's not much going on in the tropics as of right now, but it's time to watch very carefully, especially if you're going to the Gulf to visit relatives, for business, whatever, the East Coast. Anything down that direction, you need to watch what's going on very carefully, especially at this time of the year, approaching the peak of hurricane season, which again is 8 days away. So again, be weather aware. And for flash flooding today, remember, turn around, don't drown, find another way to get to where you're going. You cannot drive through that water covering the roadway. You don't know how deep it is, you don't know how fast it's going, and you don't know if the roadway is still there or not. So please remember, safety first and safety always. I'm meteorologist Austen Onek. You've been watching Weather from Oz. Thanks a lot for stopping by this morning. And again, stay tuned for more weather information on my social media networks. And let's be careful out there.